who was going to be president this time, and we decided who was going to be the president, is the same way. You can't just tell us who we're going to rock with anymore. The industry just can't tell us who we fucking with. We're going to show you the power that we have as foundational Black Americans. And if you acting like you not fucking with us and you trying to get us canceled, we're going to show that we can actually get you canceled just off our energy, just off the energy that we put out there.
Peace, and welcome back to another episode of the High Science Network. I'm your host, Devon. On today's episode, we're going to have a discussion concerning Lord Jamar. Now, I'm going to approach this conversation from an angle that no other YouTuber has. See, everybody else who's created content around Lord Jamar has done so to react to the silly things he said, and they've just made little humorous videos. That's not what this video is going to be. This is going to be a critical examination of this guy's behavior, and I'm going to expose who this guy truly is at a deeper level that no one else has ever explored. Let's get straight into it. Lord Jamar is somebody who is deeply, deeply insecure, to the point that I think this brother needs serious therapy. I'll make my case by saying this. When a person is deeply insecure, they have a challenge and a burden because their insecurity is like a pet that needs to be fed. It needs to be fed multiple times a day and cared for. And how do these guys deal with their insecurity when they're like Lord Jamar? They have to seek validation in everything they do. Now, what's the greatest way to get validation on social media these days? Well, one of the ways for Lord Jamar is to impersonate a critical thinker, impersonate an intellectual. And the greatest way to do that is to find movements, philosophies, ideologies to latch on to. Now, this is where it gets really sinister. Not only does he latch on to the movement, here's what he does. I'm going to break this down in a way y'all have never seen anyone break it down. Check this out. When Lord Jamar gets introduced to a movement, he said through his own admission that he walks in a skeptic, somebody not wanting to take it on face value or be a believer. He said this. But he eventually becomes a convert if the message is compelling enough. But here's where it gets even worse. Lord Jamar's objective is not just to be a member of the movement, the philosophy, the ideology, the methodology. His objective is to be the subject matter expert, the authority, the most visible point of reference in that movement. He wants to be the top dog, the one who everyone looks to when they think of the movement. That's his mission. This is how he feeds that insecurity I spoke about earlier. Now, I'm going to argue that one of the more sinister things that I observed is that Lord Jamar actually wants to be a 2.0 version of existing subject matter experts in these respective spaces, movements, and ideologies. What he wants is the fastest on-ramp to claim expertise or to claim to be an authority in a certain space. The best way to achieve that is to model yourself after an existing subject matter expert. It is to become a 2.0 or a clone of an existing authority. For FBA, he models himself after Tariq Nasheed and aspires to be Tariq Nasheed 2.0. For Flat Earth, he aspires to be Eric Dubay and become Eric Dubay 2.0. This is what Professor Dave picked up on immediately and called him out on. Now, for my Black American Freedmen, my FBA who are listening to this is the part of the video that you're going to find most intriguing. I'm going to show you how this dude jumped on the FBA bandwagon for no other purpose than to use it as an opportunity to boost his own standing, his own brand, his own popularity, and overcome his insecurities. He is an opportunist, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. Let's go. About 4 years ago, Tariq Nasheed appeared as a guest on Lord Jamar's podcast. Lord Jamar went into the conversation around FBA skeptical. He was running interference to Tariq Nasheed as Tariq Nasheed tried to explain what FBA was. Lord Jamar struggled and wrestled with the concept. He admitted he was Guyanese and didn't understand why Tariq Nasheed was placing a partition between Black American Freedmen and other members of the Black diaspora. He couldn't comprehend, nor was he willing to comprehend, because this was shaking up his foundation. But watch this. While he was running interference and trying to claim that getting records was impossible and that Mormons own the records and that he should also be considered an FBA regardless of what Tariq Nasheed was saying, because his family didn't have an accent, as he put it, and that they were in America for multiple generations, he somehow came up with a brilliant idea between then and now to forcibly shoehorn himself into the lineage. As a person who witnessed the house of FBA be constructed right in front of him, he decided, man, I ain't gonna be left out in the cold. This is too much of an opportunity for me. I'm gonna print up my own house key so I can never be considered someone who did breaking and entering. I'm gonna go into the house of FBA, take a seat on the couch, and I'm gonna grab the remote control along with some potato chips and have some input on what shows up on this screen. I'm going to play some clips where you're going to see this dude in interviews using terms like we and our when he speaks of FBA. Check this out right here.
Those type of people tethers, okay? It's the ones that work against our interest. We created this hip hop just like we created blues, jazz, country, rock and roll. You know, this is nothing. This is what we do. When we tell you we created this and you're now trying to create, take credit for something that you didn't do, that's trying to work against our interests. You're making yourself a tether by doing that. The things that foundational Black Americans have done, and many times people come in on the backs of what we have done as far as the civil rights struggle. These people flee their countries and then come here on the backs of what we do, but with a subconscious disdain for us. And some of them, not all of them, but some of them will work to undermine us. And those are the ones we call tethers, okay?
Now, if you guys just saw that, what you basically saw was a person who was consciously aware of the fact that they didn't share lineage with Black American Freedmen, but they wanted to appear that they did in order to seem like an authority on the subject. Let's talk about this brother's involvement with Flat Earth for just a minute. Lord Jamar, as we all know, had an awful experience on Godfrey's podcast when he attempted to be a subject matter expert on Flat Earth. You're going to see he did the same exact thing in FBA as he's doing with Flat Earth. I'm going to show you right now. The dude got on Godfrey's podcast and started saying incredibly outlandish and scientifically ignorant things in order to make himself seem important. He blurted out dinosaurs never existed. He said gravity was a hoax. He said evolution is not true. No one ever went into space. All this scientifically ignorant garbage he started promoting. I'm going to argue that he doesn't truly believe the stuff he's saying. He's saying it for shock value because it draws attention to him and causes everybody in the room to look over and consider the fact that he might be wiser. He might be a subject matter expert. This guy might be sharp. But here's the problem. What he doesn't want you to do is question him on any of that. He never truly wants the challenge. He just wants to talk big so that his insecurities can be fed, but he hopes that the process stops there. The crime that Godfrey committed is when Lord Jamar started saying, I'll debate any scientist. I'll debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'll do this. I'll do that. The crime Godfrey committed when Lord Jamar did that is that Godfrey actually challenged him. That was not supposed to happen. That was not in the script for Lord Jamar. He wasn't prepared for that. He was never prepared to actually be challenged. Why? Because all he wanted to do, as Professor Dave so brilliantly exposed, Lord Jamar just wanted to be Eric Dubay 2.0. The same way he found FBA is how he found Flat Earth. he said this. He said, yo, I found a video of these guys talking about flat earth, and I went in a skeptic. He went in a skeptic, and as a grown man, clicked off the video believing gravity was a hoax. This is not a person who is gullible. This is a person who saw an opportunity. The most tragic part of the video that captures Lord Jamar and Professor Dave's debate is the point where Lord Jamar is exposed for not knowing what a celestial vacuum was. The look on Lord Jamar's face was absolutely terrifying. He was truly desperate. His face was basically saying to Godfrey, Godfrey, you are the guy I wanted as a friend. This is not working out the way I wanted it. I really wanted you to fall under my umbrella and be someone who idolized me, who admired me. I didn't want this to happen, and now I'm scared. Can you please help me? Can you save me? I made all this up. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a charlatan. I'm a fake. I'm a bandwagon jumper. Godfrey, I'm caught. Throw a brother a bone. Help a brother out. Can you do something to help me, Godfrey? Come on, man. Cut this off. Please don't show this to people. I'm sorry. I'm a fraud. I'm insecure. I got an ego here, man. Come on, man. You should understand. I didn't mean for this to happen, man. Are people gonna see this? Yo, just pretend this never happened. Brother, I'm caught. All right, you know what? I'm gonna sue you. Screw this. All of those emotions, that fear, that panic, that desperation was all in his face right there. And that right there is a defeated man. And I'm telling you, I really don't think this is the last time, man. I really don't. This video is going long enough, man. Hopefully y'all understand my point. I mean no disrespect to Lord Jamar, but clearly he is somebody with challenges. And all of us have challenges, right? We're not immune to having our challenges, but this brother right here is doing too much, as the kids say, man. I want to sign off, man. I appreciate y'all making it this far in the video, man. I want y'all to hit like and subscribe. And as always, stay blessed, man. Peace and love. Before we close out today's video, be sure to check out our sponsor, Soul Food Tees Apparel. Soul Food Tees is a vibrant graphic apparel company dedicated to celebrating and uplifting the unique experiences of Black Americans. Visit their site today at soulfoodtees.com and use the checkout code SCIENCE to receive 10% off your entire order.